Now, recently, there's been a number of stories talking about how Donald Trump is mentally unstable, and they come almost exclusively from Republicans who work with him, whether they're Republicans in the Senate, like Bob Corker, saying that he could start World War III, that they're running an adult daycare center at the White House, and that he could drive off the road at any minute. And it also comes from Republicans inside the White House. Remember, you don't make it in the Trump White House unless you're deeply, deeply right wing. And so these conservatives are also scratching their heads going, I don't think the president knows what he's doing. And the reason Rex Tillerson apparently called him a moron or an effing moron is because he asked, hey, why don't we just have 10 times as many nukes? And not just as a throwaway question, he ordered it. And obviously they ignored his order because they're like, we can't, that would cost at a minimum tens of trillions of dollars. And with the one facility we have in New Mexico that makes nukes, it would take 350 years to do what he asked. But he didn't ask a question of how long would it take, how much would it cost, because he's not mentally fit for office. He never has been. But I think I know how they're going to get him out, how he's going to leave, and what the excuse they're going to use is. Now, I'm not the first guy to say it. The first guy to say it is one of his closest confidants of all time, and that's Roger Stone. Now, in mid-May, he was the first to suggest this. Listen to what he said.
They are going to claim that Donald Trump has Alzheimer's, and that it is progressive, and that is progressing, and that is the source of his insanity. But this is the game plan. Watch carefully. You're going to see the word Alzheimer's more and more in the next several days.
Now, he's the one who planted that idea in the first place, and I remarked at the time that that was quite remarkable. Why would his confidant say that? Well, one of the reasons is that it could be used as a defense if he were caught having done something criminal, seriously criminal, with perhaps a foreign country. So that is why one of his advisors and friends and allies might say that. Now, I think that there are several different factors here. One is the Republicans who could remove him either using the 25th Amendment or impeachment, and that depends. If they think that he's unstable enough, and now the Vanity Fair story out saying John Kelly, Defense Secretary Jim Mattis, and others within the White House and within the cabinet are thinking, do we, in one quote, do we tackle him if he orders a nuclear strike? So 25th Amendment says you're mentally unfit. Now, the other avenue is if Robert Mueller finds out that he in fact did commit a crime in coordination, his campaign's coordination with the Russians, well, that could lead to impeachment. But my guess is, and I have said this throughout, that it is not going to go in that direction. His ego is far too fragile for him to get impeached. He would never risk it, he would run for the hills. Now, a resignation is also deeply embarrassing, and hence the Alzheimer's theory. So first, let me be absolutely clear. I have told you about different parts of this throughout. Now, I think it's over, and I'm gonna pound the gavel. Trump will definitely not finish his first term. He is too unstable for the entire country and the Republicans and people inside the White House to let him keep going. He is a danger to the country, he's a danger to the Republic. So how will they get him out? Those two avenues that I just told you are too embarrassing, impeachment and the 25th Amendment. What's perfect is if they say Alzheimer's. Why? By the way, whether he has it or he doesn't have it, it doesn't really matter. 3 reasons why. One, it allows for a graceful exit that evokes sympathy. People go, oh, poor Donald Trump. Oh, he was great, he had it, he was gonna be a great leader, and then it's just a bad turn of events, a bad health. What can you do? And he had great health before, he did. Now Alzheimer's, it happens to everybody. And then there'll be endless stories in the press of other people who had Alzheimer's, and there'll be tear-jerking stories about, oh my God, is he gonna be all right, etc. And the valor that he had in stepping down for the good of the country, because he can't be embarrassed. Number 2, it's an excuse not to prosecute. Now, why won't they want to prosecute? The same reason they didn't want to prosecute Nixon, the same reason we didn't even talk about the Bush-Cheney violations of the law when it comes to torture or warrantless wiretapping. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the country. You want to cover it up. So the people in power, especially the Republican Party, are not going to want to prosecute if Mueller finds something. So the deal is, look, he'll step down, but don't embarrass the whole country, and especially the Republican Party, by prosecuting a sitting president. But how is he going to step down? Alzheimer's. Okay, number 3, it's a tidy explanation for his erratic behavior. The reality is he's been erratic for his entire life. He's been an absolute fool his entire life. He's bankrupted 6 companies. He couldn't find a way to make money in casinos. You go through all of his different comments throughout all the years, he's never had a full understanding of any of the issues. He doesn't know anything about nuclear capabilities. He doesn't know anything about foreign policy. He doesn't know anything about domestic policy. Just today, he said, well, if the stock market's going up, I guess that our debt is going down. No, that's not how it works. But he doesn't know how anything works. He thinks that nobody knew that healthcare was complicated. He had never put any thought into the critical issue of North Korea until he was president, and then the Chinese leader had to explain it to him, and then he took it at face value. He has no capacity and has never had any capacity to be president of the United States. But now, it's not just Democrats or independents or progressives or moderates that recognize that. It's Republicans who recognize that. They got to get him out because he is a danger. They will say that it was Alzheimer's, and then everyone in power will universally agree, poor Donald Trump, so that we can get him out of office and get someone stable in. That is what's going to happen, mark my words, and I'll see you later when it happens and you're watching this. If you like this video, you'll love the whole TYT network. Check it out at tytnetwork.com/join.